Hey vinyl friends and vinyl community, it's Brian from Brian's Vinyl Records. It's time for my very first monthly editions video. Did the series of vinyl editions for 100 episodes, pretty excited about that. And this is the first one out of that series, basically giving you an update on what I've purchased for the last month or so. So this is going to cover the end of March through April. And we'll start off, this is going to be a segmented video, so you'll get me now showing you what I've picked up the last few weeks, plus then anything else that I add on before this video goes out. First off, let's start with this. I picked this guy up. This is Eric Clapton's Old Sock. I bought this from my friends at Mill City Sound. It's a Clapton album that I've never heard and I didn't have. It's really good. Really enjoyed listening to this. So this one I think came out around 2013. So it's a newer record of his. Again, like I said, wasn't familiar with it, hadn't heard it before, but picked it up and it's classic Clapton, good stuff. So really enjoyed that. So pick this one up. Up next we have Kiss. Hot in the Shade. So this is a Kiss album I'd never owned before. I've never had it on CD, never had it on cassette, never had it on vinyl. And it's in fact an album I'd never actually listened to before. So I saw this. It's one of the Kiss albums I'm missing from my collection. So a friend of mine, Stacy, had pointed out where I can find one because they pressed it and repressed it once, and it's getting harder and harder to find. So I did find one. It's really cool. It's I believe this is the 25th or 30th anniversary, one of the two edition. Comes on this blue wax, and I picked this one up from Sound of Vinyl. And a lot of people complain about Sound of Vinyl, but I gotta say this one came super fast and it was in great shape. So no complaints here. This is Kiss Hot in the Shade. Happy to finally add this to my collection. The one nick on this one is it's one album. There's, I believe, 17 songs or something like that on this album. 16 or 17 songs. It's a ridiculous amount of songs, and so the volume levels are pretty low on it to start, but if you just crank it up a little bit, you get the sound of it, and it sounds all right. But that's the biggest thing, is they should have put this on 2 albums instead of 1. It would have sounded a lot better sonically. Next up, this is one I've been eyeing for a while. It was just released not that long ago on vinyl for, I believe, the first time, and it can only be bought from their website. So I bought this from their site. It's run by a site called District Lines. I accidentally signed up with the wrong email address, an email that I used to have that is longer in existence. I emailed their support. They got back to me immediately. They helped solve the problem. I gave them all the information that was associated with the order. They switched it over to my correct email address, and nothing but great things about them. Got it shipped out quick and was super happy about it. This is JJ Grey and the Mofrow, back when they were just going by Mofrow. And this is the album Blackwater. A really fantastic album. These guys, I saw them open for Blackberry Smoke a few years back and really enjoyed their show. I picked up one of their albums called Georgia Warhorse, and that was absolutely fantastic. I got another one of their albums this past year that was harder to find up at Mill City Sound, and then this came available, and I decided to buy this after hearing a lot of really good reviews, and glad I did. It sounds absolutely fantastic. The music is awesome. Really enjoyed this album. So JJ Grey and the Mofrow, if you're interested in them, you can search them up, JJ Grey and the Mofrow, and go to their website and click on their shop, and it is available on their website to buy from a company called District Lines. Nothing but good things to say about them. They took very good care of me, and yeah, great album. Picked up a few new releases. We'll start here with Foo Fighters. This one is called Medicine at Midnight. This is the Target exclusive version, which has an alternate cover than the one most people are used to seeing with the pinks and reds and blues on it. So this is the alternate cover, Target exclusive. Sounds fantastic. Really good album. I'm not a huge Foo Fighters guy, and I really only own the greatest hits from them, but I heard so much good stuff about this album that I had to just go ahead and pick it up, and Target had it in stock, so I grabbed it there, and I'm glad I did. It's actually a really good album. So if you're into Foo Fighters or you like that kind of music, that's a great album to have. Another one that just came out, Sturgill Simpson's Cutting the Grass Volume 2. This one is called the Cowboy Arms Session, and This is basically Sergio Simpson taking some of his songs and reimagining them as bluegrass songs. The first edition came out on a yellow cover, and it was called the Butcher Sessions, I believe, and that had a 2 LP set, and this is the indie exclusive version, 1 LP on this really cool blue marble-ish vinyl, and this cover glows in the dark as well, so if you put it under light and then at night it should glow for you. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so this has another, I believe it's 10 or 12 songs on it from his albums. Most of them are the recent albums, but he does have You Can Have the Crown on here, which comes from the first album. Really good stuff. So if you like bluegrass and you like Sergio Simpson, this is really fun. So he takes all of his songs and then redoes them as bluegrass songs, and it's really, really cool. So super happy to have that. Thanks to the guys at Down in the Valley for getting that for me. Another one that I picked up from Down in the Valley and I'm super excited about is this one here. This is Smith Cotson. So it has Adrian Smith of Iron Maiden, guitar player, and Richie Cotson, who was in the band Winery Dogs with Billy Sheehan and Mike Portney. That was a super group that was that he was in. Also played for Poison on the Native Tongue album, and at one point played for Mr. Big as well. Just really outstanding guitar player. And the really cool thing is in the last several years he's started playing with no pick. So if you're a guitar player, he uses his fingers for everything, and it's amazing what he can do with his fingers playing guitar. It's just super cool. So check this out if you like that kind of stuff. It's not like your heavy metal Iron Maiden stuff, but it's some good solid hard rock, blues rock stuff. Both Adrian and Richie sing on this, and it's absolutely fantastic. Give this a stream. I think you'll like it, and then see if you can still get a copy of this from your local independent record store. Smith Cotson, phenomenal. And I believe that this one is on a red vinyl. It's really hard to see, but it's like a maroonish red vinyl. Super, super cool. And last but certainly not least, I picked this one up at Mill City Sound. This was on their wall, and I passed on it, and the week later I went back and I had to pick it up. This is Dolly Parton's My Blue Ridge Mountain Boy. Very hard to find this album, at least where I'm at, and it's been on my want list for quite a long time. I had never seen it before in person, never seen it on a vinyl auction, and so when I saw it there the first time I thought I should pick it up, but I didn't. I went back home, thought about it some more, came back the next week. It was still there, and I didn't let it slip away from my hands again. That buyer's remorse when you don't buy it, it's real, and so I'm glad I was able to finally get this one. This is a 1969 press on Orange RCA Victor label. It sounds really, really good. So really excited to have this in my Dolly collection. I'm slowly but surely ticking them off one by one. I've got almost all of the old ones now. Now I got to get into some of the 80s stuff and try and find some of that. And then the harder stuff is going to be the newer albums that were not or were only pressed one time. Those are getting hard to find as well. So, but super excited to have this album in my collection. All right, and that's it for that wrap. Check out what I got in the next round. All right, next up I picked up Black Sabbath, We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll. It's like a greatest hits compilation of the Ozzy era. Let's see, this one was put out, does it have a date on here? 1976. So the first 4 albums or so, 5 maybe, are part of this, and just a really, really good compilation of Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne era stuff. I used to have this on CD. I believe my uncle had this record when I was younger, so I'm very familiar with it. And it's just one of those things that I never found and was really missing from my collection. Found this on an online sale. Didn't pay too much for it. It looks to be in pretty good shape. You know, the cover itself has a little wear to it, shelf wear and stuff like that, but the vinyl looks really good on it, and so I'm looking forward to spinning that. So Black Sabbath, We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll. Next, I ordered some Blackberry Smoke stuff. These are both albums that I already have, but I'll tell you why I picked these up. So the first one is Blackberry Smoke, Wood, Wire, and Roses. This is an acoustic EP that they put out for Record Store Day. I believe it was back in 2015. I have the Record Store Day edition of this. It's a 10-inch copy. It's the only 10-inch I have in my collection, and I really enjoy it, but I wanted to get this larger version. It comes on this really cool like brown and black marbled whiskey, I think, color they're trying to go for here. I wanted to get this to be my spinner copy because I wanted to leave the Record Store Day one sealed up in one of the Vinyl Storage Solutions sleeves, and so I picked this up. It's not expensive. On their website it's $15. There's 6 songs I believe on this EP, and they're all acoustic. They're great. So if you like Blackberry Smoke and you missed the Record Store Day version, there is this available to you, and it's not expensive at all, so check that out. The other one is the album Whippoorwill. Again, I have a copy of this, and it's like a deluxe version of the album, so it has another 4 tracks, I believe, a couple live tracks and a couple studio tracks on it. And again, I really didn't need this. I just picked it up because I wanted a copy that was just the original album itself. It comes on this really sweet blue translucent vinyl, and so I just picked this up to be my player copy again. The other one is in great shape. It's in perfect shape. It's great. I just wanted something that was a little better with just the album itself on it and none of the extra bonus stuff on it as well. So that's why I picked this up. It's the only reason. Also, I picked up a copy for a friend because they have never heard Blackberry Smoke, and we're trying to get them into Blackberry Smoke, both my wife and I. So we picked up a copy for them, and I decided that since I was there, I was going to pick up another copy for myself as well. Next, the Dead Daisies, Locked and Loaded. This is the final album released with John Corabi on vocals. It is a covers album, and it's actually really, really good. So let's see here. Some of the covers they do on here. Midnight Moses, Evil, A Fortunate Son, Helter Skelter, Joined Together, Bitch, American Band, Revolution, Rockin' in the Free World, and Highway Star. Just a really fun covers album that they did there. I think 2 of the songs on here are live. The rest of them are all studio recordings of covers, and fun to have. This one popped up on Amazon, like new condition in the warehouse for $11. I said no brainer. One I'm missing from my Corabi era Dead Daisies. I picked it up right away, and it came just absolutely perfect on a sweet red black marble vinyl. So yeah, happy to add that to my Dead Daisies collection. And then next this is a cool one. This is Eric Clapton and Friends, The Breeze, An Appreciation of J.J. Cale. Man, this is a phenomenal album. So J.J. Cale is a blues rock musician. He is a songwriter, a guitar player, and he wrote a ton of stuff for Clapton over the years and many, many other artists, as well as himself. You can find some really good albums from J.J. Cale out there. And Eric Clapton had a very strong relationship with J.J. Cale. He toured with him a few times. He would always be a guest appearance on some of his shows. And so he and J.J. Cale were really good friends. And when J.J. passed away, that hit Eric hard. So he put together this really cool tribute to his friend, J.J. Cale. Artists on here, let's see, include Mark Knopfler, John Mayer, Willie Nelson, Tom Petty, and Don White. And this is just absolutely phenomenal. It's the production on here is spectacular. I think probably Mark Knopfler had a hand in that because his production style is all over this. But you get that Eric Clapton guitars in there and his vocals and everything, and it's just fantastic. So I saw this on Amazon. I never even knew this existed. Saw it while I was looking for something else and had to have it. So I used some of my gift card money that I had left over and purchased this, and super happy about it. It's awesome. It's on black vinyl, but one of the really cool features is it's got this sweet Les Paul etching on side D. So really cool. But Call Me the Breeze, just a really, really cool album put together by Eric Clapton. It is a studio album, and it's fantastic. Highly, highly recommend this if you love Eric Clapton and blues. All right, up next we have a new addition to my Dolly Parton collection.
This is The Golden Streets of Glory from Dolly Parton. This is, I believe, 1971. It's a gospel album from her. So got this one from Crate Diggers down in Hickory, North Carolina. So thank you so much to them for this one. But yeah, slowly getting these hard to find Dolly albums in, which is really exciting for me. So Golden Streets of Glory. Also from Crate Diggers, I picked up Dirty Honey's debut EP. This is fantastic rock music, hard rock, blues rock music, just really good. They have a new album coming out that can only be purchased on Amazon or through their website. They decided to use Amazon to distribute all their stuff. So that's coming out, I believe, end of this month in April here. So yes, Dirty Honey EP. This is really good. Again, you can only get this one on their website. So I picked this up from Crate Diggers used, but it's in excellent shape. Here's one that I've been looking for forever. Finally found one at a really good price online. This is Chickenfoot's debut album. So Chickenfoot is a band that includes Sammy Hagar and Michael from Van Halen days. And then you've got Joe Satriani on guitar and Chad Smith on drums. Just really awesome stuff. So this was a kind of like a super group that they put together. They put out 2 albums, this one and Chickenfoot 3, following the super group of Traveling Wilburys and Skipping Volume 2. And this is great. This is cool. You can't see it here, but it's got a heat sensitive cover. When it gets warm, the band members will show up in this outline here. So that's really neat. Yeah, just a killer album. Super excited to have found that one. All right, and then we've got, I picked this one up at Down the Valley. This is Batman's Score from the 1989 film starring Michael Keaton. Really fun listen, really enjoyed it. So now I've got the soundtrack and the score to that movie. So happy to add that. I want to thank Beth at B-Side Records, or actually Red Rum Records now. I want to thank her for suggesting that I go ahead and pick this up. Also comes on this cool turquoise vinyl. All right, some new releases that came out in April, starting with The Offspring. This is Let the Bad Times Roll. This is the indie exclusive on orange vinyl. Really enjoyed listening to this album. Great stuff. So Offspring, really cool. The new one of 3 coming out from this band, Eric Church's Heart. So this one came out on the 16th of April. There is a club member only that comes out on the 20th, and the Soul album comes out on the 23rd. So I hope to have those in this video as well. So Eric, this is a great album. Eric Church, Heart. And last one from this batch is Greta Van Fleet's brand new album, The Battle at Garden's Gate. Fantastic. I really enjoy this, and the artwork is superb. This is all just a really cool album artwork. They get a bad rap from a lot of people saying they sound too much like Led Zeppelin, and they've embraced it. They've gone the full Led Zeppelin on the artwork, on the music, and I like it. I think it's great. I don't see why anyone should complain when a band sounds like a great band. I think it sounds awesome. I think they're doing a great job. And let's face it, Led Zeppelin isn't putting out new music, so why not let the younger kids do it? And it's absolutely fantastic. All right, up next, I got the second chapter in the Skid Row. I don't know what they're calling it. They were supposed to do a trilogy, but they've only done 2 so far before the singer left. They hired another singer, then they hired another singer. From what I hear, they're in the studio. I have no idea if they're going to finish this trilogy or if they're just going to write something new. But either way, they had 2 chapters in this. The Rise of the Damnation Army, Chapter 2 is this one here. And I showed in a previous Vinyl Editions episode the first chapter that I got as well. So happy to pick this up. Skid Row. This is with Johnny Sullinger on vocals. Picked up a couple unofficial presses. The first one, Megadeth's Cryptic Writings. This is an album that I'm surprised they haven't put back out on vinyl yet. This one and Risk are 2 that are sorely missing vinyl releases of,
And so I've been waiting and waiting, waiting, and finally just decided to go ahead and pick up this for the time being. This is a obviously unofficial pressing. It is on a cream colored vinyl, white I guess they want to call it. For what it is, it's okay. I thought that this pressing was probably the weakest I've had so far in my experience with the unofficial pressings when it comes to albums, studio albums. It's, to me, sounds very light, tinny, not full, I guess I would say. There's a lot of treble in it, so I'm not sure. I was going to put on the CD to see how it compared to the CD. I would assume it was sourced from the CD tracks, but normally I've been very impressed with the quality of the unofficial pressings. This one, I mean, it sounds fine, and you can hear all the instruments, but it's very high end. It's there's not a lot of low end in this mix on this, so I don't know if I can't remember if that's how the album is all around, but I think what I'll do is I'll probably put on a CD and check it out. But yes, happy to have it in my collection for the time being. I hope that Megadeth does put this out officially, and I would love to have that copy of the album. The other unofficial press that I picked up, this is Alice in Chains, The Devil Put Dinosaurs There. And this is one I've never heard before. This has William Duvall on vocals, and I really, really love the William Duvall era of Alice in Chains. I think it's phenomenal. They've done just 3 excellent albums with Duvall, and so I have no complaints there. This is one I just had never heard, and the original on vinyl was all picture disc, and it's extremely expensive to get an original. This came out, and this sounds absolutely fantastic. This is a superb pressing. It sounds amazing. It's on a white vinyl. They did an excellent job on this one. Now, I've had a lot of complaints about the artwork and the things that they put in there. This one is wonderful. It's got great stuff inside that actually pertains to the album that you got. It's got pictures from different eras of the William Duvall, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. But the nice part is this little article in here actually pertains to the album that you have. So very good there. I think this is one of the best I've gotten from unofficial pressings. It just sounds fantastic, and it's a really, really good album. Picked this one up next as one of those things I keep seeing people talk about, and I had no clue what they were. Finally, someone in one of the vinyl groups explained kind of what kind of music it was and all that, and I went out and I listened to it on Spotify actually with Amazon Music real quick, just to get a idea, and I really liked what I heard, so I placed an order for this. This is Black Puma's self-titled debut album. Really good R&B, soul, funk, just great stuff. My wife and I listened to it over dinner one night, and she also absolutely loved it. So super cool, great stuff. It comes on a cream colored vinyl, and I can't recommend it enough. It's really, really good. All right, a new release that was just put out on Friday finally arrived. This is Dirty Honey's debut LP. So I also showed in this episode the EP that they put out, and now they've just released their first full-length LP. Really excited to give this a spin. It's fresh, hot from the mail. Haven't even opened it yet. Super pumped to get this. Can't wait. Really good hard rock music right here. And the last thing I want to show from this set is an album that I just never thought I'd actually own on vinyl. A fellow VC member had reached out to me. He had posted this on one of the Facebook groups that we're in, and I had mentioned how much I thought that album was just phenomenal, and I'd love to have a copy. Well, he upgraded his copy to a new copy that's more pristine than this one was, and offered to just send it to me, and I couldn't thank him enough. So this is his older copy. I mean, it's a little worn, but no big deal. There's a little bit of surface noise, but I think if I clean it, it should be just fine. It sounds really good, and I'm super pumped to have this. This is PM Dawn, and the album is the Bliss album, subtitled Vibrations of Love and Anger and Ponderance of Life and Existence. Absolutely fantastic. Again, hip-hop, rhythm and blues, soul, funk, all sorts of different things in this one. Their biggest hit, I Die Without You, is on this album, and just a fantastic stuff. Patient Eyes is a great song. This is just an awesome album. So super pumped to have added this to my collection. Thank you so much to Tim for sending this to me. I truly appreciate the gesture, and hopefully I can, send you something back at some point in the future. Thank you so much. Okay, so next we start with a 45 of Elvis Costello's Veronica. This is a promotional copy of the single, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, kind of a neat little piece. Then another addition to my Jackson 5 collection. This is the Jackson 5's Get It Together. So let's see, I'm not sure exactly what's on here, to be honest, if there's any hits. Dance Machine is the big hit off this one, it looks like. But anyway, always trying to complete my Jackson 5 collection. I've got all the Jacksons with Michael in them, and all of Michael's solo stuff. Now I just need to complete the Jackson 5 section. This is an album that, up next, is something that I guess you could say I won. One of the Facebook groups I'm in, one of the guys there is a seller, and he did a little Friday contest the other week where he put a snippet of an image and asked where it was from, and I guessed it correct, so he sent me this as a prize. This is Muscle Shoals, Small Town Big Sound. Muscle Shoals is a very well-known studio that produced some great stuff from all sorts of different genres, including southern rock and rock and roll, blues, soul, funk, just all sorts of stuff. And this is just a killer compilation of really good songs from the Muscle Shoals recordings, and Muscle Shoals in Alabama. It's got so many great artists on here: Keb Mo, Grace Potter, Jamie Johnson, Chris Stapleton, Willie Nelson, Kid Rock, Michael McDonald, Steven Tyler and Nuno Beckencourt, Vince Gill, Alison Krauss. I mean, just tons of great people doing cool tracks from Muscle Shoals, the kind of the 60s, 70s era, where they put out some just killer tracks from back then. Just really cool. You got some covers of Mustang Sally, Wild Horses, Brown Sugar, Gotta Serve Somebody, I Ain't Easy to Love. Just tons of really good tracks on here. But this is a cool gift, so thank you to Jonathan for sending this my way. Really cool. I listened to it. It was awesome. Picked this up finally. This is something I've been wanting to get for a long time and just haven't done. I was hoping to hold off for a MoFi of it, but it just doesn't seem to be coming yet. And so I just said, forget it. This came out at a really good price. This is Bill Withers, Just the Two of Us, and Soul Shadows. It is like a greatest hits from Bill Withers. It's absolutely fantastic. This is a great press. It sounds really good, and I'm super happy I just picked it up. Really good stuff. Part 2, or I guess this is part 3 of Eric Church's 2-album 1 EP release. This is Eric Church's Soul. So I already had shown earlier Heart. The third is the EP called And that one was released only to fan club members. That is on order, but the first presses have already been sent out. I'm in the second press, and that will probably come sometime in September, they said, if not sooner. Some new releases that I picked up. This one I picked up. This is Carrie Underwood's My Savior. Of course, this is a gospel album from the great Carrie Underwood. I'm really looking forward to giving this a spin. It should be really good. How great the art is on here. She did a fabulous rendition of that a while back, and it was a huge hit on the internet, on YouTube. So it's going to be great to listen to a studio version now. So Carrie Underwood, and then the brand new album from Ashley Monroe. Super excited about this. This is called Rose Gold. Ashley Monroe, part of the Pistol Annies, best friends with Miranda Lambert, and she has got just an amazing voice. Really love her stuff. So super pumped to have picked this up. And closing out April's purchases, super excited for this one, guys. If you watched my country vinyl tag, you know what this is. This is Dolly Parton's Eagle When She Flies. This is from 1991, and it is super hard to find this in the States. I got this from Crate Diggers Vinyl and More down in Hickory, North Carolina. And when I talked to one of the owners there, who I've bought from numerous times, he's a huge Dolly Parton fan, as am I, and he knows that I'm looking for all these Dolly Parton albums. He gave me a heads up that he found it. It was the first time he's ever seen it in the wild, so I was super pumped. It was sealed, and I opened it up, and thankfully, after 30 years in the cellophane, it was still flat, and everything is perfect. So super pumped to have this Dolly Parton in my collection. I have 3 more Dolly albums that I need to get to complete my, I believe, vinyl collection, other than maybe a soundtrack or greatest hit stuff out there. But there are 3 more studio albums that I want to get. The Grass is Blue, Better Days, and White Limousine are the 3 I'm looking for. I also don't have her first album. I have it on a compilation disc that came with her first album, and also a comp disc that they have. So I have a copy of her first album, just not the official first album release. But that one is insanely stupid prices. So I'm happy with what I have for now. If I ever come across it for a good deal, I'll pick that up. But the other 3 I'm still on the hunt for. 2 of them are going to be very difficult to find. One of them is not terribly uncommon and not too hard to find, but I just haven't had any luck getting it yet. So the hunt continues for that one. That one's White Limousine. So that's all for this month. I hope you enjoyed my vinyl update for April. We'll do one again in May once that comes around. And until next time, keep spinning vinyl, friends.